What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing them the bacon MLB DFS video. It is Friday. It is September 15th, and we are back with another full video for you. So if you've never been here before, you're in for a treat. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com is trying to make you a better DFS player. So we go through every single game. We're looking at all the pitching. We're looking at all the bats in those games. If you like them, let us know. If you learn something, let us know. If you go through this entire video and you're ready to go, build your own lineups, everything like that, that's awesome. That's what we're trying to make you do, or help you do. If you need a little bit more help, you can check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com right here. You can go to FTA Plus, $24.99 for a month, or right through week 2 of NFL. If you use the promo code NFLVIP, you get $100 off the yearly package. Normally $199, you can get it for $99 through week 2, and then it's it. That's it. No more. So it's either the end of week 2 or we have 3 coupon codes left. Once those are gone, it's gone. So that being said, we have a ton of information for you that gets you MLB, MMA, NASCAR, NFL, PGA for a week, for a month, for a year, for a lifetime. We've got you covered there. So if you have any questions, please let us know. If you're new to the channel, anytime a video gets at least 50 likes, you leave a comment, and you're a subscriber, you have a chance to win a free week of DFS content brought to you by FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Anytime a video gets 100 likes, you have a chance to win a free month. 125 likes, you have a chance to win a free year. And any video gets 150 likes, someone out there watching, and you leave a comment, you have a chance to win a lifetime pass. It's usually $499. It's completely easy to do, just to leave a like. We actually didn't get to 50 likes yesterday, but making of this video, we had 46 likes, which is one of our lowest. So I'm pretty sure it's because it was a weird split kind of slate type day. Then we didn't have the video out until the morning, so we are back. Hopefully, by the time you watch this video, you have done very well for Thursday Night Football and the showdown. I will post I have a few bets out there. I will post the results in the morning. I don't want to jinx anything. So that being said, on top of that, Adley Rutschman, I want to know one batter or one MLB player that's on your shit list, because I had Rafael Devers, I had Corey Seager, and I had Adley Rutschman to hit a home run. And guess who didn't hit a home run? Cost me $1,500 on Thursday night, so dead to me right now, Adley. I'm sure he'll hit a home run tonight. But yeah, that being said, we have for whatever reason, we have 15 full games. We have 2 early, which a 2-game slate is weird. So we have 2-game slate, and then we have a 13-game slate, and we're going to cover it all. So that being said, I just want to dig right into it. So the first game, for whatever reason, I do know that Pittsburgh loves to play these 6:35 Eastern games. And if you know why, let me know. But you got Garrett Cole facing his team that he came up with. He's only faced 2 of the batters there versus Johan Oviedo, who has never faced any of these Yankees batters in the past. So yeah, let's take a look at what we've got going on here. So Garrett Cole, we know him. Cy Young leading candidate right now. Game logs against Milwaukee, 32 fantasy points, 7 innings there, 9 Ks. Against Detroit, he had 7 Ks there. So, you're basically looking at probably 7 to 10 Ks out of him, especially against a Pirates team that's kind of beat up. He's pitching on the road, where he's actually better on the road at 2.51 ERA, 21.3 fantasy points per game. Again, I mean, there's not a ton of options here, especially on this 2-game slate. So Oviedo, game logs, has not done good in his past 2 starts. Did really good against Kansas City. We did take him against Kansas City, and we did take him against St. Louis, and he had pretty good games there at 7,300. Now they've dropped him down to 6,500, and I don't know if I trust him enough against this Yankees lineup that has been hitting a little bit lately. So we'll look at the batters that make sense in this game. So looking on the Yankee side, Aaron Judge had a massive grand slam on Thursday night. He's got, I mean, if you see dark red, It's good. Florial, if he starts and he's leading off, I don't mind him for tournaments because he still is. Is he still cheap? He's 2,300. The problem is he's a quadruple A player. Like, he's better than triple A competition, but he's never put it together. I love him. Like, I wish he was good. I mean, he's only 25. He has struggled every time he's been up there. 182 average this year. Obviously, not very many games. He's played in 4 games. Back-to-back games, though, he's had hits, which is good. It just really depends. He's super cheap. He would be, especially leading off, he would be a fantastic option leading off. That would be one I'd look at. Stanton, I would look at Stanton here. I believe I don't think he played either of the games on Thursday. I could be wrong. You're getting a DH out of him, so that's kind of there. Everson Pereira would be a cheaper option. Gleyber Torres has been heating up. DJ LeMahieu, I would look at. Depending on if he's in, Jake Bauers would be a tournament option for me. Volpe would be an option for me. Oswaldo Cabrera, I'm okay with. Pittsburgh bats, I really don't want anything to do with them because it's Garrett Cole, so I'm probably going to completely just avoid the Pirates bats here. The problem is, again, it's 2 games. There's not a ton that I like here, but I mean, we'll dig into these numbers and we'll look at it. So I think obviously the top 2 stacks would be the Yankees and the Braves. The problem is that's going to cost you so much. I mean, it's probably impossible. But we can definitely look at other stuff. So the second game, Braves at the Marlins. You got Bryce Elder versus Johnny Cueto. Elder here coming in against Miami. 30.8 against Pittsburgh his last start, so he had a very dominant start there. Has faced Miami twice this year, 12.1 innings, 4 earned runs, 3 home runs, 9 Ks, 17.9 fantasy points, which would hit the 2 times value we need at 7,300. So I do like Bryce Elder. Cueto, I'm not taking Cueto against the Braves. He is not faced them this year. You don't need me to break down the Braves. Every single Braves batter is in play here. Matt Olson probably hits a home run. I think we're going to see a ton of runs here. So I'm not even going to break down the bats that we are looking at in this game. It's this early slate is Garrett Cole, Bryce Elder. If you want to go very contrarian, just because maybe you think something is crazy will happen, and you go Oviedo and Cueto. The problem is then you can't stack the 2 teams. So I think it's pretty self-explanatory. If you're playing the 2-game early slate, it's Cole, it's Elder, it's Yankees, it's Braves. Find the value bats that you can. Moving to the main slate here, we've got Eflin versus Jack Flaherty. Adley, you're dead to me. So looking at Zach Eflin, he's 9,300, so he has come down. He's been very expensive this year. He's faced Baltimore twice this year. 13 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, 12 Ks, 21.3 is a fantastic price for him. We saw the Rays take the first game of this crucial 4-game series, which if the Rays swept, I believe they'd be sole possession of first place in the AL East for the first time in a very long time. But you've got Zach Eflin there. And then Flaherty, I just don't trust him. Terrible outing against Boston. Not a good outing against Arizona. Not a good outing against Colorado. Not a good outing against San Diego. Okay here. Really good outing his first start with he basically he got traded and then he had a really good start against Toronto, who didn't have Bo Bichette, who were striking out at a very high clip there. And they were like, "Oh, look, the Baltimore analytics and pitching department fixed him." They didn't. He's broken. I would definitely be looking at Tampa Bay bats here. If you're not going with Jack Flaherty, which I wouldn't, Yandy Diaz, Luke Raley had a big home run on Thursday night. Randy Arozarena, I believe, had a triple. So I mean, I would be looking at him. Brandon Lau. So I mean, there's a reason they're at the top of this list here. Then you've got to find that value play. So Paredes I would look at. Josh Lowe I would look at. That's probably it there. If you're not going with Eflin because you don't want to pay up for him for whatever reason, Gunnar Henderson, Ryan O'Hearn, Ryan Mountcastle, Santander I would look at. Adley Rutschman I'd look at. I would look at Rutschman to pop out or line out, but he's on my list. So that means he'll probably hit a home run there, but I'm not using him. Cedric Mullins I'm okay with as well. Red Sox at the Blue Jays is next. Brian Bayo versus Jose Barrios. Bayos faced 65 Tampa Bay bats, a 397 batting average against him. And then Barrios, on the other hand, 11 plate appearances, 280 batting average against the Red Sox. Now, this is in Toronto. It's not in Boston. Whether or not, I don't know the whole travel situation where if, the Red Sox obviously played a very late game. It was like 11 Eastern when the game ended, something like that. Then they got showered, then they got to get a flight to Toronto. Coming into the, I don't know if jet lag's not a thing for here, but I don't know if they're going to be tired from traveling. I don't know that situation. That's just something you might not think about because they are traveling pretty late on a day where they're traveling to Toronto. Flip side of that, Toronto here, it really just depends. So Bayo here, we've used Bayo quite a bit this year. I want to say we've used him quite a bit. Didn't use him against Baltimore's last start, and he didn't really come through. Did come through against Tampa Bay. Looking at this, he has faced Toronto once this year. 5 innings pitched, 4 runs. 2 of them earned, 1 home run, 5 Ks. He is averaging 17.1, which would hit the 2 times value. And Toronto this year has struck out against righties quite a bit. So tournament-wise, I think Bayo could go underowned. Then you got Jose Barrios, which is fallen down. No, he's up here at 8,800. Game logs, he's had 2 really good starts in a row. Again, he should. They were Kansas City and Oakland. He has faced Boston 3 times this year in 3 starts. 17 innings pitched, 22 hits allowed, 12 earned runs, 6 home runs. 6.35 ERA, I am probably avoiding him. I'm probably looking at Red Sox bats here. So what bats could we look at is what you're probably asking right now. So looking at these, depending on what it is, Devers. Sorry, it wasn't Corey Seager in my home run parlay last night. It was Devers. Devers was the one that hit a home run. Then I got my second home run. Then Adley did nothing for me. Wilyer Abreu is a very cheap option. Tristan Casas, he cost me a home run parlay for the early game. I had him and William Contreras. Both of them cost me. I would look at Tristan Casas. Justin Turner's looked really good this year. I would look at him. Trevor Story had a home run on the first game of the doubleheader. He could be an option. Verdugo could be. I actually saw that apparently the Yankees were talking at the deadline of an Alex Verdugo for Clark Schmidt trade, which I had never heard about. That didn't happen. But, he's an option, a left-handed bat against Barrios. Yoshida I could look at as well. On the flip side of that, if you're not going with Bayo, Matt Chapman, Vlad had a home run on Thursday. Bo Bichette is back. I would look at him. Davis Schneider is still. Let's see how cheap Davis Schneider is. Oh, wow, he's 50. He's not cheap. He's 5,300. That's a steep price. I don't know if I'd use him. But he is teetering on getting that dark red here. You can see that. Another option would be George Springer. You go a little bit lower, would be Dalton Varsho, Kevin Kiermaier, Whit Merrifield, if they're in. So that's what I would do. I think I'll have a little bit of Bayo, but I don't think I'll have any Barrios today. Reds at the Mets, you got Hunter Green versus David Peterson. Which Mets team is going to show up? Which Mets team are we going to see bats-wise? Are we going to see one that gets absolutely dominated, or are we going to see one that comes out and hits like they did against Zach Allen? I don't know. Hunter Green's coming in. Hunter Green's one of those, he had a fantastic start against St. Louis his last start, 32.5. He had a really good start against San Francisco, 25. Then he had 0.3, minus 9.1. So it's been up and down, coming back. Has faced the Mets once this year, 5.1 innings, 2 earned runs, 4 Ks. I like Hunter Green in this situation because he's going into Citi Field. So that is a massive pitcher. It's a ballpark upgrade compared to Cincinnati. So I do really like that. And you can find the ballpark ratings under the MLB tab. And then under MLB ballpark stat ratings. Speaking of like matchups and stats and stuff like that, I think moving forward, we're going to break down the NFL videos kind of like we do here. I've got someone came to me with an idea of a matchup tool showing each games and then all of the players that have had success, like previous snaps from the week before, matchups, the Vegas numbers, all of that. I think if that's something you guys would be interested in, let me know. I think you will. Those videos, I'm trying to figure out when those videos weekly will come out. This week it's either going to be today or Saturday. So that being said, let me know your thoughts on if that's what you're looking for NFL or whatever you're looking for. Let me know down below. So, David Peterson, I don't know if I'd use him. If we look at him, he's down here at 6,600. Game logs, he went 6 innings against Minnesota, 3 earned runs. Had a really good start, not a good start, really good start. Up and down, up and down. He's faced Cincy 3.1 innings this year, 4 earned runs, 10 ERA. He does have a better ERA at home, 3.18, because it is a pitcher's park. So maybe David Peterson for tournaments. I wouldn't trust him for cash. And then the bats we could look at real quick. I would look at Marte. I would look at Encarnacio Strand. I would look at Will Benson. Joey Votto's probably a tournament-only option here on out. Jonathan India against a righty. Hunter Renfroe against a righty. You want to go very low. Harrison Bader, but he really hasn't done a ton. And then Nick Senzel would be cheaper options that I would look at for Cincy. Flip side of that, if you're not going with Hunter Green, Brandon Nimmo had a massive home run the other night. Lindor I would look at. Pete Alonso had a home run the other night. Francisco Alvarez is getting cheaper. And if you want to find cheaper options, I would look at Jeff McNeil. I would look at Mark Vientos, Ronnie Mauricio, and DJ Stewart would be my cheap, lower-tiered, tournament-only Mets bats there. Rangers at the Guardians, John Gray versus Lucas Giolito. Now, Giolito has been absolutely lit up the entire season. This game right here, I don't... So we can look at John Gray real quick. I'm not looking at Giolito. John Gray's not coming off a good game against Oakland. Splits-wise, he's faced Cleveland once this year. Hasn't done well. I'm not looking at John Gray. And then I'm not looking at... Well, where is he? No way he's 8,300. He's coming in with a 4.89 ERA. He had a good game against his old team. Congrats. Yeah, there's no one on that team. Got lit up by Minnie. Got lit up by Philly. Had a good game. That would be... So it's going to show all LA before he got traded. Splits-wise, he's faced Texas once this year, giving up 4 earned runs. I'm taking Texas bats. I'm not taking Lucas Giolito. I'm not taking Cincy or Cleveland bats. I am taking Texas bats. Corey Seager's been absolutely on fire. He's going to cost you a lot. He's been absolutely on fire. I'd go Corey Seager. So Mitch Garver did leave Thursday's game with a foot contusion or foot injury. I don't know. I haven't read any injury report yet to see how bad it was. So he's probably out. So then I would slide in with Jonah Heim. So I would look at Corey Seager, Jonah Heim, Nate Lowe, Ezekiel Duran, Josh H. Smith I'm okay with, Marcus Semien, Robbie Grossman. Cheaper options there. Jankowski would be an even cheaper option there. And I'm not looking at any Guardians bats in this. So I don't want anything to do with the pitching. I want all the things to do with Texas versus Lucas Giolito. Twins at the White Sox is next. Bailey Ober versus Jesse Schultens. So kind of looking here, where have they put Ober? Is he cheaper now? He used to be up towards the top. Did I miss it? No, there it is. He used to be, I believe, higher priced. Yeah, 10,000. I mean, he's dropped down. Didn't have a good start against Texas, but it's Texas. Didn't have a good start. Didn't hit value. So he hasn't hit value since basically July 7th. 2 months since hitting value of 2 times. So he's kind of come down. He's faced the White Sox once this year, 6 innings, 2 earned runs. He's pitching on the road, which he does have a worse ERA on the road. Probably still take a little bit of over, but again, he has not hit value at all in a very long time. 2 months is a very long time not to hit any sort of value at all. And then Jesse Schulten's down here, 5,700 game log. 5 innings his last start, 3 earned runs, and that was at Detroit. Didn't hit value. Probably wouldn't use him. I would be stacking. So I'm a little bit concerned about using Bailey Ober. Maybe tournaments I'm okay with, but at 8,500, probably just looking at bats in this one. And I like bats on both sides, to be completely honest. So Kepler, Matt Wallner. I do like Ryan Jeffers a little bit. I do like him more against lefties, though. Correa. That's what it was. It was Devers, Royce Lewis, and Adley Rutschman for my tournament, or my home run parlay, and Rushman's the one that didn't get me. I was thinking it would be Lewis, but he got it for us. I would use him. Edward Julian I would use. Kirilloff I'm okay with. Polanco I'm okay with. I might slum it down with Kyle Farmer because I believe he had a home run on Thursday. Maybe Willie Castro, but that's pushing it. White Sox bats, it's Eloy, it's Luis Robert Jr., but Luis has not. I don't think Robert's hit a home run in like a month. Let's check. Luis Robert Jr., game logs, home run. Which one was home run? That one was home run. 8:30. Okay, so it's been 2 weeks since he's hit a home run. Yeah, I mean, he's due. He's still 5,700 though, but Robert is due for a home run. Not saying he's going to hit one, obviously, but he is kind of due. I would look at Andrew Vaughn. Slum it down with Yohan Moncada, maybe Grandal, maybe Benintendi, but probably not. So just depending on who it is, maybe a little bit of Ober there for tournaments, but that's probably it. Houston at the Royals. Christian Javier versus Greinke. I don't want anything to do with Greinke. His numbers are terrible. It's the Astros. It's literally almost, we're not even going to dig into this game much. It's almost anyone on the Astros bats except Martin Maldonado. And I say that because Maldi here is batting a cool 187 with 13 home runs. You're going to get 5 out of him, but that's not enough. It's completely what I would look at here is I would look at Christian Javier as one of my top pitchers. Where's he at? Oh, they've dropped him down. He has, 4.78 ERA is not good. Didn't do good there. Did good against the Yankees. Not good against Boston. Not good against Boston. Not good against that. It is in Kansas City, so tournaments I'm okay with at 7,900. Probably not trusting him in cash, but I would look at any of the Houston bats except for Martin Maldonado. And then if you're not going with Christian Javier, I would look for Kansas City. I would look at Bobby Witt Jr., Nelson Velasquez, Edward Olivares, Michael Massey, Salvi Perez, maybe MJ Melendez. So if you're not using pitching in this one, I think this is a cool game stack here. I mean, it is in Kansas City, so it is a pitcher's park. Now, that being said, in 2 weeks from today, I will be in Kansas City watching, hopefully, the Yankees dominate on Saturday and Sunday. So that means, just a heads up, probably won't have videos for Saturday or Sunday of that week. So just a heads up, in 2 weeks, the 29th and 30th, well, technically, I'll have a video out for the 29th. I'll video that before we head to Kansas City. But I will not have a video for the Saturday slate, and I will not have a video for the Sunday slate. I will put that all out. I will let you guys know ahead of time that that's what's going to happen. So I will remind you there at some point. So, yeah, I'm stacking against Greinke. Could see you stacking against Javier. I think a lot of people might take Christian Javier against Kansas City. I think Kansas City would be a sneaky stack. And those are the bats that I mentioned. Nationals at the Brewers, you got Jake Irvin versus Wade Miley. Now, Wade Miley. Well, let's look at Jake Irvin first. So Jake Irvin's down here at 6,400. Game log, 16.5 against the Dodgers. Not too bad. 9.1, 13.3. Okay, he's got some of that. Now he's going up against Milwaukee. If they are without Christian Yelich, I kind of like him a little bit more. He's faced him once this year, 5.1 innings, 2 earned runs. That's basically, I mean, he's pitching on the road where it's a 4.45 ERA, so it's a little bit worse. And then Wade Miley just faced. I stacked the Yankees against Wade Miley on Saturday or Sunday. 9.9 is not a lot. He only gave up 1 earned run. He only went 3.2 innings though. So I don't know the reasoning because, well, he had 84 pitches in 3.2 innings. He had 3 walks, 2 runs, 1 earned run, only 1 hit allowed. So I probably still wouldn't take Wade Miley at 7,000. I would look at the bats in this one. So the bats that we could look at here. If you're not using Miley, Joey Meneses, Lane Thomas, I'm okay with. Keibert Ruiz, I like. CJ Abrams, I love. Carter Keyboom would be another boom or bust option. Then you get down to the nitty-gritty of Michael Chavis. If he plays, he hits lefties kind of okay. In the past, he has anyway. Maybe a Jake Alou, probably be as low as I go. Flip side of that, if you're not going Jake Irvin because you believe the Brewers are going to have a good game, Christian Yelich, did he sit out? Did he sit out Thursday too? So they're saying he will come back in this game, likely to come back on today. So it's kind of clarity a little bit. I would use him. William Contreras I would look at. I would look at Carlos Santana, Mark Canha. Willie Adames is another big name. If you want to go a little bit lower, a Rowdy Tellez or Bryce Turing or Sal Frelick, probably be as low as I'd go. Maybe Tyrone Taylor, but I don't know about Tyrone Taylor. Next game, Phillies at the Cardinals. Aaron Nola versus Zach Thompson. So Nola is the highest priced pitcher on the main slate at $10,400. Coming off a couple of stinkers here against Miami and Milwaukee. He did just face the St. Louis team at home 3 weeks ago, or 3 starts ago, or 4 starts ago as of today, and went 7 innings, no earned runs, no hits, or 1 hit allowed, 1 walk, and 9 Ks. So if he could get in there and kind of duplicate what he did in that game, we could be looking at a pretty good start out of him. 3 times value, which is exactly what we need. He is the most expensive pitcher on the slate, though. That is the problem. Then you got Zach Thompson. Did I miss him? There he is, right on my cursor. 5 innings, 3 earned runs against Cincy, 16.5. So he's actually hit value his last 2 starts. Now he's going up against Philly. He hasn't faced them this year. He would be one of those contrarian options where you could throw him in a tournament because no one will be on him. Everyone will be on the Phillies as a stack, which they should be with the numbers that we look at. So Zach Thompson for tournaments I'm okay with, but I'd probably rather look at bats. I'm looking at Aaron Nola, and then I would look at Phillies bats. So Trey Turner has been on fire. Kyle Schwarber I would look at. Castellanos I would look at. Bryce Harper, Brandon Marsh, Real Muto, Alec Boehm. Those are all going to be the big names. The lower names, if they start, Christian Pache, I don't know if he will. Could be looking at him. Bryson Stott I'm a little okay with. Edmundo Sosa. It just depends on, all of the big names that we talked about are the ones that are doing very well right now. That's why they're big names. But you can see these top 4 have ton of red, was what you look at. You get in between the middle here, a little bit lower, you got some red, and then trying to be red but also trying to be blue at the same time. They're right in the middle. If you're not using Aaron Nola for whatever reason because you're crazy, I would look at Goldie. I would look at Wilson Contreras if he's in there. Tyler O'Neill, Tommy Edman, Lars Nootbaar, Palacios, and Arenado I'm okay with there. Next game, Giants at the Rockies. Logan Webb versus Chase Anderson. So this game got this game was postponed from Thursday. I kind of still like Logan Webb just because of the Colorado bats aren't, that scary outside of Charlie Blackmon, Chris Bryant, and Nolan Jones I would look at. Other than that, I kind of like Logan Webb here. And then Giants bats, Lamont Wade Jr., Jock Peterson, Conforto. Well, no, Conforto's hurt, right? Yeah, Conforto's on the IL per usual. Let's see the bats real quick. Yastrzemski I'm okay with. I would look at Yastrzemski. Jock Peterson, J.D. Davis. You want to go lower, Luis Matos. I could see Wilmer Flores I'm okay with. Tyro Estrada I would look at. Patrick Bailey and Brandon Crawford would be your cheaper options there. So that's pretty much what I'd look at. I do kind of like Logan Webb. Again, though, his price in Coors is still $8,600, which I do not like his price. Tournament-wise, I'm okay with. That's basically it. Detroit at the Angels, you got Tariq Skubal versus Griffin Canning. So you've got Skubal here at 9,000. Game logs, 31. I mean, he's had really good games in a row, and he's had some really good ones. I also forgot to mention, if you wait till the end of this video, we do simulations. We do 10,000 simulations a day. We're going to give you the top 10 batters and pitchers after doing 2,000 simulations right here at the end of the video. He's actually had really good success lately. Pitching now, he's pitching on the road. He does have a 6 ERA on the road in 5 starts. That's a little weary because what the only thing that the Angels do are hit lefties okay. If Ohtani is out, that's obviously a huge bat that's out. But that's a big but. Tariq Skubal is there. I don't mind him at 9,000. Then we got Griffin Canning at 8,200. Not a good game against Cleveland. A couple of good games here. Some good numbers. He's faced Detroit once this year, 5 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, 8K. So he's actually had success against them. He's pitching at home, which he does have a worse ERA at home. Tournament-wise, I think both of these pitchers are tournament options. But let's take a look at the bats if you're not looking at anything. Like if you don't feel good about the pitching. Obviously, Torkelson has been absolutely on fire. I would use him. I would use Kerry Carpenter. I would look at Jake Rogers. Those are the 3 with the big bats there. Cheaper options would be Parker Meadows or Andy Ibanez. A little bit down further, Zach McKinstry or Matt Vierling. I would look at those bats. If he's in, let's see, did Ohtani play the other day or did he get scratched yet again? I think he got scratched yet again. When's the last time he played? September 3rd. So he hasn't played in a few. So yeah, he has right oblique discomfort. Yeah, like it's saying, if he doesn't play, today, there's no reason to play him the rest of the year. He's got a torn UCL and an elbow, and now he's got an oblique injury. There's really no reason to play him at all. So yeah, if he's out, that's a huge bat that's out for sure. So I would definitely be looking. If you're not going with Tariq Skubal, Brandon Drury, Randall Grichuk against righty, those are ones that I'd look at. They just called back up Jared Walsh and David Fletcher, so that could be cheaper options there. So again, I mean, outside of like Grichuk and Drury, they don't really, maybe Logan O'Hoppe, they don't really hit. There's not a ton of other options there. So when you dig into the numbers, I kind of like Tariq Skubal a little bit more. I really do. Cubs at the Diamondbacks, you got Justin Steele versus Brandon Pfaadt. Now, I believe Justin Steele has the NL leading in ERA. 2.77, 16-3 record, 159. So he just faced Arizona his last start in Chicago. 22.2 fantasy points, which is pretty much what we're looking at this price right here. He's a little bit more than 2 times value. Against San Francisco, a dominating performance, 43.6, 29.3. So he's had 3 really good starts. He just faced this Arizona team last week. He had success. I do like him here. He is 10,100. So he is expensive. He's not the most expensive, but you're going to save $300 if you don't use him, or if you don't use Nola. And then you got Brandon Pfaadt. Now, finding out where he's all the way down here. He just faced the Cubs, I'm assuming, last start. Yeah, at the Cubs, 8.7. He went down 200 there. I still would not use him. I'd be looking at the Cubs bats. So I'm looking at Justin Steele, and I'm looking at the Cubs bats here against Brandon Pfaadt at Arizona. So let's take a look at the numbers real quick, at the bats that we're looking at. So it doesn't really concern me lefty or righty here. I just want to take the hot bats. Chris Morel, Suzuki, Dansby Swanson, Pete Crow Armstrong. Let's see if he's still 2,600. He hasn't done much at the plate. That is true. But, you got to get him in there for a stack if you're going there. Cody Bellinger's always got to probably be in all of your Cubs stacks. Mike Tauchman, if he's leading off, I don't mind Mike Tauchman. If he is leading off, he'll get you hopefully 4 at-bats. I would look down to Nico Horner or Nick Madrigal as well. Flip side of that, if for whatever reason you're not taking Justin Steele because you've been here before that Arizona, some of the bats like to hit against lefties. Maybe Justin Steele gets lit up today. Tommy Pham hits lefties well. Evan Longoria hits lefties well. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. and Christian Walker all hit lefties well. Then you could look at Ketel Marte. You could look at Corbin Carroll. You could look at Gabriel Moreno. I'm okay with those options. That's Jordan Lawler is probably the lowest I would go there too. So if you don't want to pay up, I think, to be completely honest, now Justin Steele probably is in store for a good game. If I'm paying this much, I think I'm going to go with Nola against St. Louis. I just like that matchup better. But if you feel good about Steele, go with Steele. We got Padres at the Athletics. You got Seth Lugo versus Sean Newcomb. Forgot that Sean Newcomb was no longer on the Braves, but I found out he was on the Cubs before that anyway, or since then. But yeah, Seth Lugo here going into Oakland. I kind of like this. He's coming off a terrible start against Houston, minus 4.3. He has not faced Oakland this year. It is a pitcher's park. He pitches a little bit worse on the road, but this is a football stadium. We all know it's a football stadium. I'm okay with Seth Lugo for tournaments. I don't know if I trust him in cash enough. I don't know if I do. And then Sean Newcomb's all the way down here. Game log. I don't know if he'll even go deep into games. We're looking at 4 innings his last start, 2.1 before that. So he's probably not a good option. He's a lefty. So I'd be looking at San Diego bats here. So what I'm looking at is Seth Lugo. And then I would be looking at Machado. I would be looking at Fernando Tatis Jr., Juan Soto, Xander Bogaerts, Ha-Seong Kim would be the bats that I would look at here against Sean Newcomb or the bullpen whenever that comes in. So I'm looking at Seth Lugo, and then I'm looking at San Diego bats. I don't want anything to do with Oakland bats. And then the final game, Bobby Miller versus George Kirby. I think I like his name, Mobby Miller first. Mobby Biller. We'll go with Mobby Biller. I like that one. Mobby Biller here is priced at $8,400 against Seattle. Game log 16.4, his last start 25.4. Actually had a really good start against Atlanta. Splits-wise, has not faced Seattle. Pitching on the road, he's got 3.22 ERA, so a better start on the road than he has at the same amount of games at home. So all things point to maybe he could be a sneaky option at $8,400. Then we look at George Kirby, $9,500 here. Coming off of him, so if you have not seen the news, came off a terrible interview saying he doesn't know why he was out there in the 7th inning. He already threw 90 pitches. He thought himself that he should be out. He shouldn't be in there. Whether or not that affects him moving forward, that could be something. And he's going up against the Dodgers. I'm probably not paying $9,500 for him. He's had 2 bad starts here. A good start against the White Sox, not a good start at Kansas City. Splits-wise, has not faced the Dodgers this year, is pitching at home, does have a little bit better ERA at home, but the problem is, I think it's a mental game with him now, and that's something you might not see on paper because they don't really talk about it. But if you need to, pause this video right now and go YouTube George Kirby post-game something or another and listen to that. And everyone's coming at him. Ex-ball players are tweeting like, I would never have done this, blah, 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 or something. So it's crazy. Probably stacking the Dodgers, but I could see both teams in this one. So just kind of looking at the bats that make the most sense on both sides. Dodgers bats that make the most sense. Mookie Betts, obviously. JD Martinez has been heating up. Max Muncy, Freddie Freeman. We know what we're getting out of Freeman. Probably the best hitter in baseball right now, all around, because he stays healthy and he's consistent. Like, people are going to say it's Ohtani, but like Freeman stays healthy and is consistent all year. Go a little bit lower, David Peralta, James Outman, Will Smith a little bit, depending on which catcher starts for the Dodgers. And the Mariners, if you're not going with Bobby Miller, Julio, Jared Kelenic, Teoscar Hernandez, Eugenio Suarez, Cal Raleigh, big dumper. Wouldn't be surprised if Cal Raleigh hits a home run today as well. Cheaper would be Dylan Moore, Mike Ford, and J.P. Crawford. Super cheap would be Luis Torrens, if he even starts, and Sam Haggerty would be my super cheap options there. And there you have it. That is the breakdown of all of the games, all of the pitchers, and all of the bats in those games. If you're still here, you're still around, let's look at the top 10 bats after 2,000 simulations. So as of now, and this will change. It is on the website, though. If you go to FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, under the MLB tab, it's the MLB DFS player projections. We got Ronald Acuna, Josh Lowe, Mike Yastrzemski, Aaron Judge, Bobby Witt Jr., Nolan Jones, Luis Robert Jr., Yordan Alvarez, Thairo Estrada, and Corey Seager. So, I wouldn't be surprised if 3 or more of these players that I just mentioned hit a home run tonight. Pitcher-wise, they actually have Tariq Skubal number 1 as of now through the simulations. 2 is Hunter Green. 3 is Griffin Canning. 4 is Garrett Cole. 5 is Seth Lugo. 6 is George Kirby. I don't agree with that. 7 is Bobby Miller. 8 is Aaron Nola. 9 is Zach Eflin. And number 10, as of now, is Johan Oviedo. Now, these probably have changed since making this video. So those will be up. We do the 2,000 early, and then about an hour to 2 hours before the main slate kicks off, we do 10,000 simulations and throw those in there as well. And you can kind of go back and forth in the tabs to see what has changed and the direction it has changed. So that is what I've got in this video. If you found it helpful, useful, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. They must have I must have had some bot followers or something, because there's been a couple of days we were up to 8,100 subscribers here on YouTube, and it went down like 7 or 8 people out of nowhere. I'm guessing maybe there was just inactive accounts that they finally deleted. I don't know what happened. I think Twitter also had like a bot nuking day where they got rid of some bots on there and people's Twitter accounts lost followers. So that's what I've got in this video. Good luck today, and as always, let's bring home some bacon. Peace!